I was super worried to hear that. Really hope that he's okay, but just wanted to take a moment on the pod just to kind of recognise him, because we'll never ever forget, what he's done for United football, and he's given me like the best moments of my life. But worrying times, isn't it, when you hear stuff like that about the great man. It took another 8 minutes, I think, for TV to actually get those angles of his fingernails, which are often, trimmed and removed, raising the ball and going in. So just, you need to get over it. How are we, fellow Reds? And welcome to this Manchester United review of the match against Liverpool with me, Spen and Chaz. Before we get into it, as always, if you subscribed, if you're following, a massive thanks. If not, what are you waiting for? Get involved, get subscribed, get following. We're on YouTube, we're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on all the socials. Come and join us. Come and join this Carrick revolution as we march on to the Champions League. But yeah, we'd love to have you, so get signed up. But Chaz, the day after, we've beaten the Scousers, the double's done, we've secured the Champions League. There's a 6-point gap between us and them in fourth. How are you feeling?
Perfect, wasn't it? Absolute dream. Like, obviously, it could have been a lot more perfect, but end of the day, like, even the way it ended almost makes it not better, but just with it being Mainoo and everything like that, just the week he's had, and unbelievable.
It's crazy how stuff like that happens, isn't it? He signed a new contract, there's loads of hype around him, and then he gets the win. Yeah, fantastic. Give the Scouts a little bit of hope, and then literally
then
take it away.
Place it away in the corner.
Beautiful. We'll get into that, but yeah, I watched it in Bracknell, and my wife's southern, so I sat down there visiting a family in a pub, somehow surrounded by fake Scousers. I was the only one, me and this other fella, that was just me and him who were United fans, and I thought, where am I? Am I in Anfield?
But you think there'd still be a bit of a mix?
I know.
Wouldn't you?
No,
yeah, weird.
Honestly, 2 of us in the pub, and loads of them as well. So it was even sweeter to win that, because it would have been hell to lose. And when we were 2-0 up, I was flying. But when they pulled it back, to get that winner was sweet as well. And I said I would. I'll shout him out. Chris, who is effectively my brother-in-law, Liverpool fan from down there with a very southern accent. He bet on United to win.
Really?
Could never do that. I mean, I'm being cheeky now. He did also bet on Liverpool to win in a separate bet, but I said to him, you can't be betting against your team. I
guess he was just trying to make it. I mean, like, at least I won money type thing. Like,
yeah.
Soften the blow, I guess.
And he did, to be fair to him, he did win with that United bet. So, but not as happy as us to get the win and all those things we've just mentioned. But in terms of our bets, we weren't miles off, Chaz. But
no, we got the right amount of goals for us.
Exactly. We both went with a 3-1. I went with Sesko, Ahmad, Brian. I didn't put Gakpo on the bet, but did say Gakpo would score. And you said similar. You said a 3-1, as we mentioned. Sesko, Bruno, Ahmad, and Gakpo.
Yeah. Not obviously when I saw Ahmad wasn't starting, I was like, well, that's a goner. And I would have put in, like, I was almost tempted to put another bet on Makuna, being the goal, and then thinking that he'd come off, and then maybe Ahmad would come on and replace him and get his goal as well. We weren't a million miles off.
No, and it surprised me that Cunha started, but I was so happy because he's just, he's great to watch anyway, but he's a big game player, isn't he? So when I saw that he was starting, it gave me a bit of a lift. I don't know about you.
Yeah. I remember the game at their place, like, I just remember him, like, in like the 85th to like 96th minute, he was just kind of running out of the box with the ball, drawing in fouls, like just getting stuck in, and like people aren't all sold at him, but I think he's like class. And we said it before, just that he's a big game player. He knows what it means to get stuck in. He's got a bit of bite about him. Yeah, we've missed that. I think having that kind of a bit of arrogance, a bit of swagger, but also that the fight as well.
Yeah, I'll hold my hands up earlier in the pods. I think I was saying I want a little bit more from him, but I'm fully sold now. He's such a Man United player. I love his arrogance. I love his celebration, which we're going to get from you at some point, that he busts out. And I was buzzing to see. And I thought, in terms of the bet, okay, Cunha starting, Ahmad to come on, maybe get a goal. But as we'll get into in a minute, it was kind of the opposite. But yeah. And then I obviously got a Liverpool perspective because I was watching it with some of them, and the amount of excuses. I had a message early on to say Isak's injured, congrats on the win, and then it
Yeah.
was look at how many kind of injuries we've got, and it's not our first 11. How much money have those guys spent? And yeah, you can
You
be
had a
unlucky with
title-winning
injuries, but
team last year,
yeah,
and you spent 450 million on top of that.
yeah,
All you got rid of was Trent, who isn't like a defensive superstar. He's got a decent pass on him. But like, yeah, like if we spent 450 million like this summer, I'd hope to be performing better than they are this year. Like
yeah,
I know, obviously, yeah, Salah was out, Isak was out, like fair enough. But for example, the midfield was their starting midfield that I think they would play no matter what, which is massive. Obviously, their keeper was missing, but it wasn't like I didn't think their keeper played bad. Woodman, he wasn't really at fault for any of the goals. So yeah, the excuses came out, and as you probably saw as well with the press conference, but he whinge bag, like
yeah.
quoting PSG games and like so apparently UEFA's against them, so is the Premier League, probably the FA Cup as well. Like everyone's against Liverpool apparently now. Now you're not winning, and since you started putting your own stamp on a team and it falls apart.
Well, you've reminded me. So I didn't catch it in the pub because it was quite loud. But what was the thing at half time when Slot's giving it this? Was it to our bench? Did you see that?
I think it was just like piped down basically because we're
Really?
yeah like I think he
Ah,
obviously moaning about the handball because he kept doing this and all this
yeah,
kind of stuff. I think it was just a bit of follow on from that. Did you see
brilliant.
this Slobberslide thing? Have you seen
No.
that? So as he's walking down the tunnel after we've won, he's pointing at the Premier League badge. Like they obviously got a gold
Oh,
badge, and it's like, mate, you've won two of them. This is we've got 13. If you're pointing purely at the Premier League, that is. And then also,
yeah,
mate, you've had the worst defense of a title ever. Like,
yeah.
obviously, we defended the title, but it was a different manager. We fell off massively, like, accept that. But you had the same manager and you spent 450 million and you're finishing fifth or fourth, probably. But, like, and then you're pointing at the badge, just like, mate, think about it a little bit.
I love it.
Like,
I'm loving this energy today, Chaz. He's back, he's fighting fit, and he's going for the Scouse goal. Like
yeah,
that's just cringing at you. Like that is horrible. And
yeah.
you still can't say sob sly. Like I
No,
can't either.
no.
Right, let's get into it then. So we're buzzing. We're very happy to beat them. I've already mentioned Chris's ridiculous bet, betting against his team. But yeah, really good start from United. I mean, a fantastic first half, but
Yeah, yeah.
kick,
Like,
yeah,
everyone was on it at the start, like from minute one. I pretty much after our second goal was maybe when it dipped off a little bit, but before that, it was like creating lots of chances. Like, obviously, the goals were a bit more like kind of a bit fluky, but the other we probably should have scored other chances. I
yeah,
thought like obviously we're big Sesko fans, but I thought he was probably maybe had his best game for us.
yeah.
Just putting himself out there, like great runs, like being a bit more aggressive is what we wanted from him. I thought he was class. I thought also he was. We'll get to the second half, but I think him going off is a massive part of that kind of crazy 10 minutes. But I just thought, yeah, it's best we'd started a game for a while, especially like it's similar to the City and the Arsenal games. Like we just went at it straight away, and it was like I think we kind of shell shocked Liverpool a little bit as well. I just thought Carrick got it tactically right, spot on as well.
Yeah, you've nailed a few things there, and one of the things I'm loving the dynamic between Sesko, some of the younger players, and some of the more experienced players like Cunha, like the conversation between them and the direction they're giving each other is a really nice kind of balance. I really enjoyed that, and you've also just nailed Carrick got his spot on. I've already seen since the win again question marks over obviously the fact that we went 2-0 up and then we kind of went to 2-2, and again question marks over whether he is the right man going forward. I'm like, the reason why we came out and battered Liverpool in the first half was because of him, how he set
Yeah,
us up, the players he's chosen, what he's done the week before. Like he's the one who's going at Liverpool, and the game could have been out of sight. So
yeah,
stop,
yeah,
stop looking for faults. Like he's all he does. This man just wins. And
yeah,
yes, he hasn't got 2 games a week at the moment, but if he's given the summer, he's also going to get more players. He's going to get a bigger squad. He's going to get a chance to rotate. Like right now, he hasn't really got that depth of squad as well.
yeah.
And he's the one who's getting
Also,
us to
what can he
smash
do?
the first half.
It's not his fault. There's
I
not more
know,
games. Like
I know.
he's basically won. 10 out of 14, drawn 2, lost 2. Like, it's a ridiculous record. And people are just trying to pick faults like, oh, well, he won't be able to do it next year. Well, how do you know that? He's not had a chance to do it yet. All he can do so far is what he's been doing, and that's smashing it. So, like, yeah, like you said, like, no team, especially this end of the season, like, dominates for 90 minutes and wins every single game, really. Like, it just doesn't happen, particularly in the Premier League. And I just think he's doing, yeah, like you said, all he can. And we were playing really good football in the first half. And again, after that kind of mad spell in the second half, we started playing better football again and controlling it and passing it around. I just think, yeah, you just got to give him credit. Like, stop trying to find negatives in what he's doing. Like, he just secured Champions League football. I didn't think we were going to get Champions League football. Like, I was kind of like, oh, it's probably going to be a Europa season, which
It's mad.
yeah. And we've done it at a canter as well. Like, finishing third. You thought maybe we'd scrape fifth is probably what we thought if we were going to get Champions League football. We're not like surging up 6 points ahead of fourth and fifth. Like, just let him like bask in it a little bit.
Yeah, and look, if and hopefully when we hire him, yeah, we don't have to go all Liam Rosenior and give him a 6-year contract and all that stuff. He deserves a proper contract and commitment. But yeah, like, imagine just hiring at work and you've got this person in your exact company doing the job, doing an amazing job, but you're constantly thinking, yeah, but there's this other person in this other company who's done some other things. Like, yeah, he's doing the job right now for you.
And really well.
Look at all the scalps he's got in terms of City, Liverpool.
Everyone.
He win everyone, and he's top of the league since he joined. So yeah, I've just seen a few more podcasts and other channels just constantly just going, but, and I'm like, stop with the but, just get behind him and almost let's see what happens. But getting excited. But let's get back into the moments a little bit. But we mentioned that Mancunian, his goal. How technically good is he? Like, his first attempt's on target, it comes back out, and then he has to adjust. And another fantastic finish. Yes, it has a deflection, but just to even get it back in so quickly is just amazing.
Yeah. He's class. Like, I thought he played really well today, and it's like, because again, the third goal is his little ball through to, again, a class pass for Luke Shaw, who we're also going to shout out in a minute. But yeah, I think he's class, and yeah, like you said, technically to take that second shot kind of on the bounce, and he kind of hits it down to the floor, which also helped it kind of get the deflection and put it in. Like, yeah, he's just a stuffy goal in terms because it's a deflection, but he still hit 2 shots on target in 2 seconds type thing, where someone else might just fluff that over. Dalot would just fluff that over the bar.
Oh, Dalot, let's you mention it just now. The guy, obviously, I'm quite impressed with him at the minute in terms of what he's doing at right back. But imagine if he could chip in with something, and he gets himself in spots, but he just
that
can't
one at the end. Oh my god! I'm like, also I was like, why? Like, there was, I think it was 4 on 3, so there was a space. I was like, and he's given to Dalot. He was in the best position, to be fair, but I'm just like, they just fucking Dalot's it, doesn't he? Just Dalot it.
Dalot it, and you're a firm member of the right back union, and like I said, he's doing that bit well, but he needs to get in some of these workshops with Bruno or something and just learn how to finish, because
he needs to be staying after training, just shooting for an hour or something like
that. Yeah, and let's get straight into our second goal, because we had a bit of fun with some of our mates who were screaming handball. Anna Slot as well said, if the trajectory of the ball changes, guys. Literally, it took another 8 minutes, I think, for TV to actually get those angles of his fingernails, which are often, trimmed and removed, grazing the ball and going in. So just, you need to get over it. Woodman, I think you said, wasn't at fault. He's come out, he's kind of flapped a little bit, and then Van Dijk's nowhere. As always, the most overrated defender in Premier League history. And Sesko's just got the important touch off his body, clearly, and then the tiniest fingernail graze that doesn't, I think one of the guys I was watching with was like, well, does it go in if it doesn't touch his fingernails?
Definitely.
Like, what? Yeah. What is this?
Also, I was thinking I've not seen it because obviously all got caught up in the fingernail drama, but I don't know if he was fouled in the first lead up. I think he was, but I've not been able to see it properly in any of the replays. They keep just showing the handball. I'm like, well, we maybe should have had a penalty before that anyway. If they were to decide that, then it's like, well, they probably should have gone back and checked that. But I think, again, that really shows how Sesko's come on. He had that chance, got fouled, was kind of complained for like 1 second, then saw the chance was still, got back up, and then came back in, like behind the was it Van Dijk, and then was in the right
Yeah,
place and just improvised with his hip. So yeah, really impressed with him again. Obviously, annoying that Bruno doesn't get the assist because of
I know,
the
I
Woodman
know,
touch.
I
I
know,
feel
I
like
know.
if it's like an on-target shot and it gets deflected, it counts as a shot, I mean, a goal for the player who's had the shot on target. So I feel like it was an assist going. But yeah, he'll get it still. He'll get the record.
Yeah, I almost feel you should remove the goalkeeper from those kind of things because he's like his whole purpose is to try and stop goals, right? So if he gets a touch on it, I don't think he should
Yeah,
intervene with an assist. But yeah, it's mad. Again, I can't help mentioning that I watched it with Liverpool fans because it's given me such a different viewpoint. But there was a really nice bit of TV on Sky actually for that goal where they obviously went through all the offsides and like we were almost checking them together and it was perfect. It was like the first one bang on, not offside. The second one, not offside, and then that penalty chance. I was like, yeah, that's definitely he's pulled him back, but then we get the goal anyway. So
yeah,
if you wanna split fingernails, let's
yeah,
go back to maybe us having a penalty, and it probably would have been a red card as well.
yeah,
With
definitely because he was definitely through on goal.
where he was at. So
Yeah,
yeah, we're having it. That was so good. That was so good. And then just a little moment. What I didn't like, Konaté shoving Sesko into the hoardings. Bit naughty that, wasn't it? I like a bit of,
yeah,
a bit of a challenge, but that was a bit. He knew what he was doing there, and he knows what Old Trafford is, the big ramp off the end. So
yeah.
didn't like that one. Did you see it?
I would like Sesko to just 'cause I don't know if that's why he went off because I know
Yeah,
Sesko in the Brentford game, he was like, I remember at one point he slowed down and kind of was feeling his groin a little bit. So I don't know if it was that or if it was a bit of a knock from being smashed into the hoardings or not. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But it sounds like I think Carrick said afterwards he'll be all right
yeah,
for next game. So I don't know if it was a knock or is that groin thing that I think he had before, like slight tweak or something. Because he
yeah.
wasn't, apparently he
Well,
might not have even been starting the game. Um,
oh really?
yeah, he was like a fitness risk. But they decided to play him. I'm obviously very happy they did because I think, like I said, I think he was class in the first half.
Yeah, he really was. He really was. Yeah, but I didn't like that. And then there was a really good chance for Bruno to make it three.
Yeah,
Again, technically so good the way he guides that because that's so difficult and it just
yeah,
whistles past the post.
yeah. I thought I was in like it was like a bit of a shinner, but he scored that one with his shin anyway before he does it on purpose. Another shin goal. But
Yeah,
yeah, I thought I was in. I kind of celebrated, thinking I was just waiting for it to hit the back of the net, and then yeah, just wide. But again, really good play. Um, a decent ball in from Bry as well.
yeah, he's not someone I mentioned later actually when we talk about players, but I do want to give Brian a bit of a shout out because I thought, yeah, again, he's not it's not happening for him in terms of goals and
Goals and
things, but
assists. Yeah,
the work he's doing, I really like it, and it's coming, isn't it, with Brian?
yeah, I think so. I know. I think in these big games, like that work rate and drive is kind of massive. Like, so even if you're not scoring goals or getting assists, but you're putting the work in, particularly from like a defensive perspective as well, I think he does that really well. So yeah, I think that's a worthy shout out.
Yeah. But such a good half, such a good half. I was so happy with it. Obviously, I didn't want to get too carried away because you didn't know what
Yeah,
was to come. And the only disappointing thing was that it wasn't more than two, right?
yeah, exactly. Like if we'd have gone in 4 up, I don't think Liverpool could have been like, how are they 4 up? I think we kind of battered them.
Yeah,
So yeah, like I messaged you say, oh, this should be more, and we should go on and win this, and obviously we did. But like, I was hoping for like an absolute battering, basically.
yeah. Can you imagine? That'd have been so good and so sweet for
Yeah,
me sat there. But no, I guess then start the second half. I saw that Ahmad had come on, and at first I had no idea who he'd come on for. I think it was probably your message or someone's message as well that kind of helped me know it was for Sesko. So yeah, we hope he's all right because he had a really good first half, and
yeah.
I think that did change the dynamic. But unfortunately, they got a goal which
We
came
even had a
just for
chance before that, like in the whatever it was, 46th minute or something. Like we had a decent little bit of play
yeah.
before Amma gave away. It's like we just like that. I can't say his name, can I? But like, um, fair play to Slobbersley, because he had a lot to do still, even though Ahmad kind of played a little nice through ball for him. But he still had a lot to do. and it was like a decent finish and a good run. Maybe one of Maguire or Dalai should have just got out to him and tried to hit him before he got to the penalty area, maybe. But I think they almost didn't think it was that much of a risk, 'cause I think Maguire had Dalot behind him, but Dalot didn't really come over. So that left the space. So I think I kind of blame Dalot more than Maguire for
Yeah.
that, even though Maguire was the one on him. Because I think Dalot should have come in and kind of supported, but he wasn't there. So the space was there for the shot, and it was a really good finish, to be fair. He was probably their best player, I'd say.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. If I'm
Yeah,
honest, I think he's got a lot going. I think, like you said, he ghosted past some of our players a little bit too easily, really, to get in
yeah,
space. And then it's always tricky if you manage to get the ball through a defender's legs. It kind of unsettles the keeper, doesn't it? And
yeah,
then it goes in the bottom corner. To be fair, so that was a bit of a shame. But you are right. I guess the start of the actual second half, just before that goal, Van Dijk almost got an assist for us, didn't he? With
yeah, yeah.
one of it's a very strange backwards header, which was mad. But yeah, so annoying to concede, particularly early on. But then after that, there was that unreal bit of play from United, and if that would have been a goal, like literally, if you remember it, out the sky,
Oh yeah,
Bruno
yeah,
with
yeah.
a
The touch,
ridiculous
unbelievable, and also
touch.
the finish. Obviously, it was offside
Yeah,
in the end anyway. But like, if
yeah.
that had gone in and it was then offside, it would have been absolutely gutting, because that touch was unbelievable. And then to have that finish of like the back heel in off the post, if it had gone in, like it would have been one of the. I don't know. I must have been goal of the season, I reckon, if that would have gone in.
Oh, I was gutted. Like literally saw it, and I was like,
Imagine getting
the
an
touch
assist like
of
that
Bruno.
as well to equal the record, bring that down, and then
Yeah,
play the good ball in, and just. I don't know. I can't remember how far offside he was, but
yeah. I don't remember seeing the offside. It was a
no.
good catch for me.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely was
But
offside,
yeah,
but I don't always give an
not to
offside.
be. Not to be, and then a bit of a theme, but then we give them an equaliser. Like so poor. And
Yeah.
look, I'm going to be kind to Lemons here because he's literally been
I
unbelievable,
think that's the
and
first
he's
goal he's given away, right?
yeah.
So
And look, when you
it
play in that
happens.
position, and he's so good with his feet, and he takes some risks, it's going to happen, and it's a shame that it happened at that stage. And
Yeah.
it was just such a crap goal, wasn't it? Literally just passed
Yeah.
out,
And also it's
one
even
pass
lucky that
across.
it kind of it passed out, but they had still two players there, and to be fair, it was like a nice bit of interplay. But part of me almost felt I was a bit lucky that it kind of, I don't know if it was a pass or a bad touch that went across to Gakpo. But then I think so. This is what I was going to say with Ahmad coming on for Sesko. I wonder, like, because we were going a bit more long in the first half because you had that presence of Sesko. And when it was like a bit of a high press from Liverpool, we would just play it over the top, and that was working for us. Um, and maybe because he wasn't on the pitch that we didn't do that as much, and that's where we kind of Lemons tried that risky pass, and obviously, yeah, awful. But maybe that was part of the because of the tactical change. Oh, not it wasn't a tactical change, but because of that change, that maybe that goal wouldn't have happened. Particularly if we were under pressure, it was 2-1. If your Sesko was up there, you might have gone, let's just lump it because
Yeah.
just alleviate the pressure. Because it was just wobbled a little bit. So maybe that wouldn't have happened if Sesko was on the pitch, but it's fine because we won.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think that is where we've mentioned it before, but that's where we need kind of a Danny Welbeck type backup striker, so that
Yeah,
because at the moment, if Sesko goes off injured, we have to change our playing style because we haven't got
yeah,
another Sesko type player. Whereas if we had someone who was a bit more like Sesko, we could still carry on playing the same way.
yeah. That was
And
working.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's a good point, and hopefully we kind of can address that in the summer. But like we said before, it's a tricky signing, right? Because someone has to play second fiddle really to Sesko and be okay with that. That is why a Danny Welbeck at his age type player would
yeah.
would be ideal. So
We say
we'll see
Danny
what
Welbeck
happens
type
there.
player. We just love it to be Danny Welbeck, basically, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Now I just worry that we've wasted another year of not having him. So is he getting into that
He signed
realm
a
of
2-year deal anyway last year, I think it was. So I
yeah.
don't think he's going anywhere.
Yeah, true. And then to be fair, Liverpool did have a spell. Obviously, we had Lemons making that kind of save on the line as well,
Good
which was
save
good for
from Van
him.
Dijk. Was it Van Dijk?
Yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was.
Well,
Yeah,
it was Van
yeah,
Dijk. Yeah,
yeah.
and obviously a little bit nervous, but then we had some chances. So we had the Casemiro, so rare for him.
I was like, that's it. He's been putting them
Yeah,
away all season.
I know.
It's probably that's probably an easier chance than most of the goals he scored this season. So
Yeah.
yeah, he just put it straight down the middle, basically, didn't he?
Yeah, another great run though. Got in a great ball through to
Yeah,
him as always, and I was like, oh, he's gutted. But then, man like Kobbie Mainoo, oh, well,
yeah,
that is unbelievable. Like just signed his new contract, committed to United, playing the Scousers, and what a finish from him. So,
yeah,
and again, just want to shout him out just a little bit now, just in terms of his all-round play, and we'll probably get onto him later. But he's just gone to another level. And
yeah,
if he can add them type goals to his game as well a bit more, I loved it, Jazz. What did you think?
yeah. Like I think he said in his contract signing that he wants to add more goals to his game, and he's just done one this weekend. Is just like you say,
Yeah,
it's even more perfect. But like, yeah, just I think most players would try and smash that, and then it probably flies over the bar or hits. Why is it bloody Sobersley again? Hits Sobersley. Because he came in with like a flying tackle, which would put most people off, I think, as well. But to have that composure just to kind of place it into the bottom corner with that power from that distance was just it kind of is him though, isn't it? It's just the kind of goal
yeah,
it's kind of goals he's been scoring, like the ones against Leon, the one against Wolves. They're always kind of like edge of the box clutch moments where you need like important goals. He just scores important goals, doesn't he? That's what he does.
he does. He does. He does. I absolutely adored it. And I tried not to go too crazy in the pub when it happened because, like I say, I was surrounded and I was like, didn't want to get above it. But it's just such a good feeling to watch him do it
Yeah,
and then to run off. And I was like, come here, go on, go on.
yeah.
But how are you feeling from that point with confidence to kind of bring it home? Or were you still a bit
No, I
nervous?
was actually fairly all right after that. I didn't think they really threatened too much. The only what slight threat was, fuck's sake, I have to call him Rio. Rio. Um, because I thought he looks decent. He looks really good, to be fair. Like
Yeah,
he
he
was a bit
does.
tricky, but other than that, other than him, he had one where he took it past Dallo, I think, cut in, and then a shot that just went wide, and then another one where he kind of ran it out. Other than him, though, really, there wasn't much. I wasn't that worried. I thought we were kind of after that equaliser, we actually started playing better again and creating more, and we created some chances ourselves after that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I guess they were trying to put the pressure on, but I wasn't really, concerned.
Yeah, I was a bit frustrated with Dallo because yeah, Rio, I thought he's going to be a player, right? And he looks very
Yeah,
sharp, but he very obviously loves to come inside every time. And
yeah,
Dallo kept
true.
kind of showing him that, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like
Yeah,
he
he's
clearly
right-footed,
wants to.
so yeah,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So learn from that. But yeah, luckily we managed to keep him quiet. He had a couple of chances, and then later on, obviously Xerxes came on for Cunha, and Bruno going off, loved it. Just loved everything
yeah,
that he
yeah.
was about. Just a bit of shithousery in terms of taking his time, walking off, and then just pumping everyone
Getting his
up
side
and just
stand to stand up for the
yeah,
first time.
yeah, ever
Yeah, yeah,
putting the prawn sandwiches down and then
yeah, yeah.
getting them going. But lovely moment, and just he deserves that kind of treatment, doesn't he? Because I also was getting it, Bruno. Like why is he whinging at players and all this kind of stuff? And I was like, don't even mention this man's name. Like he
Yeah,
is
yeah.
unbelievable. You would have him in your team in a heartbeat. I think Chris compared him to Luis Suarez, and I was like, this can't happen. This can't happen in terms of that hatred type. And there's no
Yeah,
way you're
yeah.
comparing him to him.
He's not
So
biting people and racist, so he just likes a little
exactly,
bit of a whinge.
he does, and look what he's done with that more recently. He's turned that into other players around him stepping up and putting in really good performances. So Bruno, but mate, what a win. So important to do that. Let's get into the players that we've not really mentioned, or maybe let's echo some others. I thought let's end on a positive. There was some shakier performances, and this is comparative compared to what they've done before. For me, like, Ahmad coming on, like again, obviously he
Yeah.
gave that kind of ball away straight away, and still just want a little bit more from
I think
him
it's just
generally.
maybe his confidence has gone a little bit, or like
Yeah,
maybe some of the Europa League long campaign, whatever games, 60 odd games we had last year, and then African Cup of Nations, maybe he's just a bit tired. I think he'll be a more like Ahmad next season. I just think he's a bit
yeah,
like lost his confidence a little bit, but we still know there's a player in there. And the important thing is that he works. He's a hard worker. He's not like a
yeah.
Garnacho type who spit his dummy out when it's not going right. He keeps trying. So, but yeah, he wasn't great. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but like you said, I think that's a great point around his, how he's applying himself. Full responsibility for the mistake that he took,
Yeah,
and then he tries to react. He's just not really happening for him at the moment. But hopefully you can just keep this going. And I'm going to say a very quick point. Obviously, just Lammens, by his standards that he set, his unbelievable
Yeah,
standards. Obviously, a shame for him to make that mistake, but he also made some important saves.
yeah,
But
really important saves.
he's
Yeah,
probably one of them players as well. He'll probably analyze that so much after the game to go, how did I do that? What did I do? And
yeah,
you
yeah.
think you think he'll kind of learn from that. But then in terms of before we get into man of the match, players you want to shout out, Chaz, that didn't
I was,
just make you man of the match.
yeah, I was going to say Luke Shaw actually,
Yeah,
just because I thought, particularly going forward, more so than anything, because I think he's been good defensively this year. He's obviously played a lot of games, but I think I've probably mentioned it on the previous pods that he hasn't really got the engine anymore to overlapping runs. But I think he was doing that today. So maybe it's just because it's the Liverpool game and he's just a bit more
yeah,
fired up. But like obviously for the Kobbie goal, Kuna played that a great pass into him. He was doing those overlapping runs quite a few times. So it was just nice to see. So I thought I'd shout out Shaw because often he doesn't get many plaudits these days. So I think he deserved a little shout out. And then who else? I think I've already mentioned Cunha and Sesko. So yeah, they're probably the main ones other than my actual man of the match. So
fair, fair. Yeah,
any
I was
extras
going
for
to
you?
shout out. No, Cunha like you, just because I love him. He suits those kind of uh, those games so much, and he's just scoring important goals. So I just don't want to take that for granted. I thought it was brilliant. As always, not going to take Bruno for granted because he's just
Yeah.
another. Does he ever play less than I was going to say 7, 8, maybe? He's
I
kind
was
of
gonna
eight
say
plus.
eight. Yeah, yeah.
He's an A+ player, isn't he? And typically, he's a 9, 10 in terms of United players anyway. All right, let's get on to man of the match, and I'll be very surprised if we don't christen the same person. But go on,
Yeah.
you go first.
Slobber's Nah, obviously Kobbie.
Yeah,
And not just because of his goal. He actually was playing like he's been doing the other weeks, but I think he's even better today. Just like again, we say it all the time, but that sort of press resistance, that kind of more of that drop in the shoulder, more of that combativeness, just more of what he's good at, and the extra bits he's adding to his game. But he's just so good on the ball, and like if he can add more goals like that as well, he had to be man of the match. Yeah, I thought he was absolutely unbelievable. And now I'm like, obviously I'm not an England fan, but he must be almost playing. I don't think he'll start because of the way Tuchel plays. It'll be Anderson and Rice, and Anderson's class, and Rice is decent as well. So I think he probably won't get to start, but like surely he's the next name on that midfield two now because he's just playing so well. And again, we've mentioned it before, but like, what the hell was Amarin thinking? Oh my god, like it's absolute madness to think
uh,
that he can't play any sort of role in your team is insane. Like he's him, I guess Bruno, then Casemiro. You probably have the top two since Carrick's come in, but then you'd have Kobbie straight after that. And he could even
amazing.
get
Yeah.
even get in a squad sometimes, which was absolute lunacy.
Well, yeah, no surprise. Kobbie's mine as well, and you touched on some good points there as well in terms of, yeah, as a England fan, I'm trying not to be Man United biased, but I would play him over Rice. Genuinely, I do rate Rice, I really do, but I just don't think he's got what Kobbie's got to have next to Anderson. And
We'll
I
clip
don't
that
think he
up
will
and get
play.
the Arsenal fans angry.
Yeah, I would genuinely. I think he just offers more than Rice offers, and he's kind of proving that now. So for me, yeah, I would have Kobbie over Rice all day next to Anderson. If you're listening, Sushil, I'm sure he tunes
Yeah,
in every now and then.
he's a subscriber, I'm sure.
And then you raised another good point. Do you reckon Amarin watches our games? Because if he is doing, he must be borderline crying, right?
Yeah,
Thinking,
I don't
what
know.
was I doing?
He's quite like a arrogant bloke, right? Like,
Yeah.
so he's probably just more like, why didn't they try like this for me type thing? Probably because you're playing a stupid formation, mate. That's probably why.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
the worst thing is though, you think back and people were like starting to doubt Kobbie and were like, oh, maybe he's not actually good enough, and maybe like he's not doing stuff in training. But what he's shown is that not only is he as good as he was when he was playing under kind of previous managers, but that he was obviously listening to Amarim's criticisms because he is kind of positionally much better from a defensive perspective. He's more physical. He's a lot more combative. He's winning his duels. So that just gives me so much kind of more kind of admiration for him because he wasn't playing for half a season and he was still learning. He was still getting better and better, even though he had a manager had no faith in him. So if we'd let him go in an absolute like
Oh,
sin.
can you imagine? Obviously, you let Garnacho go, and we're almost kind of relieved and laughing at what he's up to in other clubs, and we'd have just seen Kobbie just go like this,
Yeah.
and we'd have
Imagine
just
what him
been,
in
oh,
Italy as well. If he went to Napoli, he'd be
ah,
absolutely bossing it.
it wouldn't be fair. I don't think it would be hard enough for him in Italy,
No,
genuinely.
the pace for
Um,
him would be so easy.
yeah. I'm good. So yeah, we've made a couple of points about Amarim, right? But I am going to mention something. So he had a mare with the team he picked. He had an absolute mare with Kobbie. To be fair to him, we probably have to, looking back now, give him some credit for how he set us up in terms of he got rid of Garnacho, he even got rid of
Yeah,
Rashford out the door. He brought in, in his watch, you don't know how much he's been involved, but he's brought in Cunha, he's brought in Mbuemo, right? He's kind of he has made a lot of these changes, and other stuff has gone on around him. So I do feel that hopefully in our progression, and if this becomes, a title challenging team at some point, he's definitely made his mark. For me, it just makes it more frustrating that he did a lot of good stuff, and the one thing he did was just pick a crazy formation and refuse to adapt because,
yeah,
you know, imagine if he'd have actually just twigged at some point and gone, right, I know I've got a system and I know they brought me in to do a system, but it ain't working. And actually this could work. And he tried it, didn't he? Against, I
right.
can't
Then we
remember,
won.
Wolves or someone.
We
Yeah.
won,
And
and
then,
then he
and
changed it
then he went
back.
back. Yeah. So he's
So
just, imagine being that stubborn where you've done so much work and you've made some really good decisions and changes.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the one thing you need to do is just get away from yourself and just pick a team that makes more sense for the players you've got.
yeah,
He must kick himself when he thinks about it. But like you said, maybe he's just that stubborn that he still sits there thinking, actually, if this was a three, four,
yeah.
three,
We
we'd
would
be
have
winning.
beat Liverpool 7-2.
Yeah. So thanks, Amrin, for some of the stuff you did. But if you would
Yeah,
have let Kobbie go, he would have forgiven you. Never would have
yeah,
forgiven you.
yeah.
Um. All right, Kobbie, what a game. Let's have a quick chat about the Scousers and what you think about them.
Um, I thought first half they were pretty pants. And then I think they only came back into it because it wasn't because of kind of pressure from them and them ramping it up. It was because Ahmad was still asleep and made a stupid pass, and
Yeah.
then Lamans did the same thing. And then it became a bit more pressurized, or it became more pressurized after that first goal. But like, yeah, I wasn't impressed with them at all, really. I think they were lucky to get it to 3-2, essentially. As the whole game, it's a flattering scoreline for them. And I think, like, if you look at their squad, obviously, if everyone was fit, they still have a better squad than us. I just think their manager's being found out, and he's not actually very good. Like he's just inherited Klopp's team, made tiny tweaks, in a title where no one else was playing well, so he didn't really have any challenges. So he was never under any pressure. And as soon as he's under some pressure, so even they started the season pretty well, but they were scraping past every single game. Um, so I think, annoyingly, I think they have a load of money still to spend because they've been really well run for quite a number of years. Fair play to them. Um, so I think they're going to spend big again. If I was them, I'll be a lot happier if Slot's still in charge and they spend a load of money. If they bring in Jabi Alonso and spend a load of money and they have that squad they have, then I don't think sort of a fourth place will be their target again. I think you could see them as title challengers because they have got a
Yeah.
decent kind of spine still.
Yeah, and I agree with you on squad, but I was thinking about this, and I'm honestly not just trying to cause chaos there. But if you think about the money they spent, they just won the title. But if I do look at a combined 11 now, like let's go through it together quickly. So goalkeeper, we know Allison has been a great, but he's moving on to Juventus, right, as well. And we've brought
Yeah, he's
Lamens
leaving.
in
Yeah, yeah,
with his whole career ahead of him. So Lamens
yeah, yeah.
in goal, right back, they're dealing with
Robertson's off.
Frimpong. Yeah, Robertson's off. Frimpong, I don't actually think he's a right back. I'll be honest, Dalot, we know that we love him and hate him for different reasons, but defensively, I'm probably going Dalot over Frimpong, right?
Yeah, well,
You?
I did. I was. annoyed when we didn't sign Frimpong,
Yeah.
because he was like where he was 32 million or 35 million, and he actually hasn't impressed me at all this season. I've not watched loads of Liverpool, but they've not been great. He's not been great. So yeah, you'd have to go with that. At least on this season's form, Dallo's been one of our
Yeah.
consistent performers. At least defensively. Let's not talk about his shooting.
Centre halves. So we've got Van Dijk and Konaté, which is their established two, and ours are, I guess, fully fit. What we saying? We're saying Martinez and
Delict, I'd probably
Delict.
say.
Yeah. So out of those, who you going for?
So annoyingly, people will be like, I think this season and probably back into last season, Van Dijk has been rubbish. Like he's not
Yeah.
playing at a world class level. Like he's playing on reputation at the moment. And this whole thing, he's never been dribble past because he never tries to tackle anyone. He just runs backwards because he's still a bit
Yeah.
fast. He's made a lot of mistakes this season. So based on this season, I would say you'd
Maguire
have
and Delict.
Maguire and Delict. Yeah, I think Maguire deserves to be in there, and Konaté is shite.
There you go. Right. All right. So we're having that left back. So for them, you've got Kirkez, or yeah, Andy Robertson's off, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Spurs if they stay up, I think.
Or Luke Shaw.
It sounds really bad, but like obviously you've got to go Luke Shaw.
There we go. Back five on United. Right. And now we're playing, they play two like we do. They've got McAllister and Gravenberch. Honestly, come out as Liverpool fans, come out as rivals. You ain't picking Gravenberch over Casemiro,
No,
and you ain't picking McAllister over Kobbie Mainoo. Are
no,
we?
no, not a chance.
All right. In front of that, they've got the Slobberslide, and normally they would have Salah, who's on his way out. We've got Cunha, Bruno, and Mbuemo.
Yeah.
So I would say to them, obviously, last year there's no conversation between Mbuemo and Salah, and
Oh
just
no,
so they don't
100%.
think
Yeah, yeah,
we're completely mental, let's give them Salah on the right,
yeah,
just
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
he is a great. Like good player. Bruno Fernandes is being picked all day,
Oh,
and
100%.
then
Yeah.
for 125 million quid verts over Cunha. No thanks.
No.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so they've got Salah. They've got Salah so far. And then up front, they've got Isak, which, let's be honest, when they signed him for 100 million, I was worried. But would you have Isak over Sesko?
Well, I'd probably, I wouldn't. I'd have Hugo.
TK. You go. Yeah, to be fair, I would. Yeah.
I think he's probably, if he obviously got a bad injury, I don't know how many goals he's scored, but I feel like he's scored more than Sesko. So maybe he might have had a better season than Sesko if he hadn't got that bad injury. So maybe you'd have him over Sesko. But then going into next year, my head's thinking, well, I think Sesko's kicking on more, but I'll let them have a cube.
All right, big huge. Right. All right, fair play. They spent how much have they spent? And we're giving him Mo Salah, who's about to leave, and we're giving him G.O.A.T. And the rest is Man United. So
Yeah.
it shows our recruitment as well. It's actually been pretty good. And there's lots of chat about them and what they did. And to be honest, in the summer, everyone was like, "Oh, Liverpool are
They said
almost
they've won the
nailed on for
league.
the title."
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. But when I was thinking about that combined 11, I was like, hmm. And then just a little chat about Arne Slot. I don't know about you, mate, but I hope he stays for 10 more years, really.
Yeah, yeah. His head's going as well, which I love.
Yeah.
In press conferences, he's moaning lots, he's getting angry, which yeah, is what that's the kind of stuff we're here for. So yeah, hopefully he stays. If I was a Liverpool fan, I think most Liverpool fans, particularly after yesterday, probably don't want him to stay.
Yeah.
I think I read that they've had like meetings and they're doing planning with him in mind still. I feel like obviously I know he's won a title a season ago, but then if you're looking like objectively as a kind of Liverpool chairman, whatever you are, you go, well, that was Klopp's team pretty much. And let's look at like City were off it, Arsenal were off it, everyone was off it, and we obviously won the league, so great. But we've then spent 450 million on his players, and we've gone backwards by like 28 points, I think it is, or something like that. So
Yeah.
surely if you just look at it from a statistical perspective and also from a kind of the way he's behaving, surely you go, actually, let's just cut our losses. Because if you're going to let him spend another, which apparently they are, a couple of 100 million this summer, like there's a lot of good managers who are about to be free, who could come in and spend that money, and there's still some very good players in that squad. So yeah, I think it's a risk that I'm hoping they're going to take and keep him.
I think they keep him, and then I think they start crap next season, and the wheels come off, and then he goes. Would
Yeah,
be my prediction. But yeah, let's hope the thumb sticks around a bit longer because I'm
yeah,
liking I'm liking it.
yeah, yeah,
All right, let's look at the rest of the league and the rest of the game week as well. Split it up into three again. So relegation battle got interesting. So West Ham
yeah,
were up first. They got slapped 3-0 by a very impressive Brentford. And then Spurs went to Villa Park and got a 2-1 win. And Villa only just, they just got that
yeah.
one goal
96,
toward the end of the game.
96th minute. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, big result.
I think we mentioned that there that Villa might have their eye on that, especially after losing the first leg. They might have their eye
Yeah,
on that Europa League final. So it's probably a place Spurs could go. But I was looking at the fixtures for West Ham and Spurs. They've both got tough fixtures, to be fair. Like,
yeah,
so I don't think it's done. I think there's going to be some slip ups still because they both got
yeah.
hard games. Um, but that is a big advantage. I don't think initially you would have said Spurs would go to Villa and beat them away, but apparently it was quite. But I think Villa are just off off it. They're kind of pretty safe at getting Champions League position anyway, and they are playing a semi final. So I think that's probably more of the reason they lost at home to Spurs.
Have you seen all the memes about Villa ruining it for everyone by
Oh, really?
letting Spurs beat them? Yeah, like you're ruining our fun with Spurs by letting them get a win because you gave up. But yeah, on our side, let's get into obviously the top 4 or 5 battle. Obviously, Villa dropping points again is brilliant because that means now we've opened up a 6 point gap to
Yeah.
Liverpool and Villa in fifth. And there's 3 games left, and Bournemouth are 6 points behind Villa. If they really, really take their eye off the prize, then you never know. Bournemouth could sneak in if they're not careful. 'Cause, I mean, it's a gap, right? And it's
That Villa would have to lose. I mean, they've lost 5 in a row. I
yeah,
don't know. I haven't seen who they're playing to be fair, but um, yeah, I think they'll be fine.
yeah. And then obviously we did the job on Liverpool, which is great. So it was just a fantastic weekend for us. And looking at the table now just feels nice, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But then them two above us annoyingly. So to be fair, I thought it was actually a big win for Arsenal. Like not just to beat Fulham, but to beat them 3-0.
and
And
they actually played
then
well.
they did. And
Yeah,
mate, I honestly think, City played tonight against Everton. That's going to be tricky for them.
yeah. Well, Everton's always a hard place to go. Like, I still think City are going to get it done. I think they'll win. But then what will they
Yeah.
go? They need to. Thing is, yeah, like you said, they have to. They got 2 games in hand, 4 goal difference. So it might go down to goal difference. I think you were right the other
Genuinely.
day. Yeah,
Uh, and mate, Everton are in 11th. If they win today, they go above. If they
Brighton.
go above, they go above. Yeah, they go above.
Joint with Brighton,
Joint with Brighton in 8th.
both Chelsea
So
though.
that's it's a massive opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
So they're gonna be right up for it as well into those. That's into the European places, right? Particularly with how things are shaping up as well.
yeah. I think it can go down to 8th or ninth. I think at the moment if
Yeah, yeah.
Villa win the Europa League and stay in 5th.
But yeah, a few more games left, and everything's pretty interesting. And
It's nice to have a bit of
yeah,
excitement in the league at the end of the season still.
yeah, definitely. But massive win, and just wanted to end the podcast, mate, on unfortunately not a great tone, but this is more important than anything to me, and I'm sure it is to you. Just before the game, I saw kind of a ping come through about Sir Alex Ferguson being rushed to hospital, and I just immediately panicked, and I
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
forgot about the game, and I was on my phone looking at what had gone on. I don't know the full details, but what I heard was that he kind of was at Old Trafford, doing his thing, and
He was
then
in the tunnel.
he got yeah, he got looked
Yeah,
at looked at in the tunnel, didn't he? And then he got kind of, I think, rushed was the quote I heard to hospital, where he was looked over and everything as well, and it just it's hard. I never forget about him. Like I think I saw Stephen Howson do a video this morning and nearly did me. Like, genuinely, like it was a tough watch because people don't. Well, maybe people do get it if they've got similar managers and stuff as well, and people might laugh at us for this bit, but like he is a bit of a granddad, and more than that, a bit of a god. And I'm not daft. He's getting older. We do know at some point, unfortunately, like with all of us, but unfortunately, he's closer. That day is going to come.
Yeah.
Never gonna be ready for it. And when you hear stuff like this as well, it just brings it home. So I was super worried to hear that. Really hope that he's okay, but just wanted to take a moment on the pod just to kind of recognize him because we'll never ever in our lifetime, and I'll be passing it on to my family and all that kind of stuff. We'll forget, what he's done for United football, and for us, he's given me like the best moments of my life. But worrying times, isn't it, when you hear stuff like that about the great man?
Yeah. When you first saw it and you read the headline and then obviously you read the articles and so it says it's like precautionary, which gives you more hope. But like obviously when you get to that sort of age, then even small things can become big things. So you just got to hope that that he recovers. But like you said, he's absolute legend. Like every time everyone asks like, oh, who do you have at your kind of perfect dinner table, he's always the
Yeah,
first name on the table. I think I've come close to meeting him a few times, but it never quite happened.
yeah,
He's always the number one person I'd love to have a conversation with. And again, I probably would just freeze up and just say
yeah,
thank you or something like that. I don't know what I'd do, but just it'd be amazing just to shake his hand one day and just say thank you for the memories. Especially like obviously now in the context of how crap we've been since he's retired, it's like even more special what he did what he did for us. And obviously we're that kind of generation where we saw it all happen. So yeah, absolute legend, and obviously hope he recovers.
yeah. We said it before, mate. I've never actually had the privilege of meeting him, and I do think about it like you as well in terms of, oh, I'd love to, but I honestly think I'd freeze, maybe
Yeah.
cry, maybe I don't know what I'd do, but yeah, it would just be more of a thank you for everything, which probably most
Oh,
people
thank
would kind
you.
of say to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, just wanted to mention him kind of at the end is the most important thing, and sending our love and best wishes to Fergie. Absolute legend, and we wish him all the best. But yeah, what Fergie would want is a big 3 points over the Scousers. He'd be
Yeah, that would
loving
have
to
helped
see
him.
United. Yeah, United doing well as well, like a little bit closer to where they should be. Obviously next season we'll want to be looking even higher, but more results like that, please. But Chaz, let's leave it there. A good one, a good one. What do you guys think? What did you think of the game? Best memories of Fergie as well. Let them have them in the comments. Yeah, let's send some positive vibes his way. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on all the channels, and we will catch you in the next one for a preview against Sunderland. See you then.